Hi Vanessa, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. So, at our last session, we talked about some of the big changes that were going on in your life, getting a job, and the one job just not working out, and
Mhm.
you know, with getting the guinea pig and then it not really working out. I wanted to touch base on some of those things that we had talked about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so I'm trying to remember what job didn't work out. Was it the case management job?
It was the bartending job.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Haven't even thought of
Mhm.
that one. That's been so
Mhm.
far out of my brain.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I think last time I was telling you I started a job as a receptionist at a nursing home. And that's been going really well. The Everyone who works here is just so nice and just it really I've never really had a job where every time I go to work I'm like not dreading it. I mean, of course, there have been like days and jobs where I'm excited, whatever. But with this job specifically, well, so far, fingers crossed it continues. I have not felt like a moment of dread. I just come in, everyone's nice, I do what I'm supposed to do, and then I go home. And it's not a job that I have to like think about when I'm off the clock. I can kind of just like check everything out the door and then be done. And that's really nice. It's a huge change of pace for me. So that's really nice. I was really nervous. I think we talked about this last time. I was really nervous about like the financial aspect of it, which
Mhm.
I still really am. I haven't even gotten my first paycheck yet, so that's kind of still how fresh this is. Um, but I'll be excited to get it. I hope it's what I need. But and then on top of that, yesterday I got a call back. I had applied for a case management job and I hadn't heard anything and it had been like a month and I didn't follow up with it because I was content, with my reception gig. But they called me yesterday and they left a voicemail about wanting to set up an interview. So with that, I'm kind of just like, I don't know what I want to do because I am happy where I'm at right now. I come here, I'm able to work on homework. I almost finished a book already, and like that's something I'm not usually ever able to just like free read, which so that's really nice. It's just nice to have like dedicated time where I can just do the things that I need to do and also make money. And I know that's really really selfish sounding, but it's really nice to be able to combine the two. Um, Whereas, if I went for the case management job, it's a full time job. Obviously, it's better in the aspect of it's full time. I would get health benefits and I'd actually be like in a field that I want to be in. Um, but I'm just thinking of sacrificing the happiness and the time that I have now. And it just doesn't sound that appealing in that sense. But in all the other aspects, it sounds like I should do it. But I don't know. So that's where I'm at with that. I have no clue what to do.
So it sounds to me like you like the job that you're at now, but you're
Mhm.
feeling some shame and guilt for, having the downtime to
Mhm.
uh do some things that you like while you're getting paid, and also things that you need to get done like school, but you also realize that maybe this case management job might be a a good stepping stone into your
Mhm.
future career path.
Yeah, no, I mean that's exactly it. I think like that guilt that I'm feeling stems from my previous job. I was working at a nonprofit and I was kind of
Mhm.
higher up and I was just busy all the time and there were days that I didn't even have time to eat lunch and that that's kind of how I like working. Like I like being at maximum capacity. But what I learned from that experience was that it doesn't always pay to feel burnt out all the time. And,
Mhm.
in the end, it didn't even work out. And I look back on that and I regret all the times that I stayed late at work instead of, spending time with friends and things like that. So I would hate to put myself back in that situation. And especially like with school when I was working full time, it was really hard for me to, work from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then get home and then have to do homework. And I actually found myself really slipping at school. And I just really don't want to find myself back in that pattern. And not to say that I would, but I know it's easy for me to slip back into that. And, right now, maybe I'm not doing something that is in my career path, but maybe it could lead me somewhere. Like it could be a foot in the door. Like I'm just reception, but it is a nursing home. And we
Mhm.
also work with residents who are in for drug and alcohol rehabilitation and things. So I do think
Mhm.
it could be a reasonable foot in the door. I'm just not
Mhm.
where I'm at right now here. But maybe that's also okay because I'm in school too. So maybe this is like a double whammy. And if I take the case management job, it's only a one-time whammy. I don't know.
It sounds like this, this conflict of which job is the best choice for you has a lot of layers to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely like an onion. And I too, like, because I've only been here for like 3 weeks, I don't want to like rush and quit and take something else and then end up not liking it. And then I'm like, dang it, I wish I could go back. And I think that's my life in a nutshell is just like if I choose the wrong thing and what if I regret it? And I know I don't know if I'm even talking about anything sane right now, but that's where I'm at.
Okay. So with you know, dealing with these feelings that you might regret the, one job or the other, um
Mhm.
what uh what is the um what are some of the positives for, or you know what, you did already say that, some of the positives. I guess my next question would be, did you end up going to that interview yet, or is that something that you're considering? What are you thinking about that interview?
Yeah, so I actually have not even responded to the voicemail, so I haven't even scheduled the
Mhm.
interview. Like I said, I put in the application like a month ago, so it was still when I was sans employment and I was just really needing something. And I met up with
Mhm.
a girlfriend, and she happens to work there, and she, knew that I had experience in that field and was like, I feel like this is going to be a great fit for you. It encouraged me to apply. And then, I never heard anything. So then I got that thing in my brain where I was like, man, they're not going to call. And like, maybe this is just a sign. And then they did call. So I'm like, man, now what's the sign? But so I guess, yeah, I'm still debating on if I want to return the call and schedule the interview and like move forward with that. But I was talking to a friend of mine today, and maybe you can offer me some insight on this. But he was saying that even if I don't want to do the job, it might be good to just do the interview to get like interviewing experience. And at the interview, I can like ask more in-depth questions, even potentially about like the flexibility of a schedule with school and things like that, to just kind of find out instead of just like saying no without asking questions. um, so that's kind of where I'm at right now with it, just kind of like, I don't know.
Okay. So you are feeling unsure if you want to move forward with an interview uh, at
Mhm.
at the case management position.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if what are some of if you talked about like feelings of regret, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
what if you were to do this interview, right? Do you think that would help combat some of those feelings that you might feel regret?
Yeah, I do. I think yeah, I do. I think that going um and maybe I'm not going because I'm nervous. Like I don't know what the true root is, but I just like on the forefront, that's what I'm feeling, like what I'm saying. But now I'm like deeper thinking. And I'm like, is it because I'm scared to be denied? Like I don't know what it is. But those feelings of regret, like just like if I take that job, like let's say I go through the interview, I get offered the job, and then I take that job, and then I quit where I'm at right now, and then I end up really not liking that job. I've
Mhm.
then let go of something that I do like, where I could have had potential growth and just kind of didn't see it through. And I'm definitely not the type of person to like quit something. I always like to see things through, and um I would be remiss, I think, if I didn't stay where I'm at just because of the potential opportunity there is. But if I go through with the case management thing and I do get the job and I love it, I would regret that I didn't take that chance. So I'm full of uh, inquisitiveness about my own future.
Yeah. It kind of seems like this is like two sides of a coin, like it could go either way. Um,
Mhm.
I know you said your friend had said that maybe just getting the interview experience and learning more about the job,
Mhm.
might be beneficial. Um, do you think uh do you think that's something you want to move forward with?
Yeah, I think honestly, after having this conversation, I'm like, well, maybe I will. Because now I'm also thinking like, I don't know, about my current position. So, just sitting at a front desk, like it's not really fulfilling and I'm not working with people, and like the most interaction I get with our residents is when they come up to talk to me, which is very few and far in between, or if they're wanting to leave the facility, which is also very few and far in between because we most of our residents are in the lockdown unit and aren't able to leave. So I'm just really, I think missing that piece of interacting with people and getting to make other people's days better, because I just feel like I'm like not being able to put my best self out there when I'm just sitting at a desk doing nothing, right? So with
Mhm.
like the case management job, I would potentially be working with people who had been previously released from prison, and kind of just like checking in on them and making sure that they're doing okay. But I do worry about that for myself because I think the majority of them will be male, and I'm not sure that I connect with males in the way that I do females, but I also don't know that I've ever tried. So I think there's like, I want to go back to like what I said about like maybe just being scared. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
So you're you're feeling um some fear with maybe getting this case management job and what that might be like if you really like the population that you're going to work with,
Mhm.
or you know if it might not be a right fit.
Mhm.
So um if I guess my next question would be, have you ever have you ever worked in like the mental health field before?
No. So my previous job at the nonprofit, it was working with I don't know if you're familiar with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So like working with families and volunteers and then, making matches based on like learned information and interviews and things like that, which I really loved because I not only got to like kind of do the behind the scenes stuff from the beginning with the families and volunteers, but then I got to make the matches and then kind of watch their relationship grow together and see the changes that can really happen from, gaining a mentor in life. Like I loved that piece of it. Um, so I think I'm missing that like fulfillment and working with mental health specifically, no, but in some capacity I think yes, because some of our families, they had recognizable mental health issues that maybe just weren't diagnosed, or that wasn't really my job, was to identify mental health issues within the home, but some of them were apparent and I wish that I could have done more. So I don't know that I want to work with like children's or families specifically, but
Mm-hmm.
that's where my experience lies and where I'm the most comfortable. So like working with a different population would definitely be a challenge for me. But I do like a challenge, and I think that I'm a good learner, and I think I'm relatable and easy to talk to. So I don't think I like fear that I won't be good at it. I think it's like, well, what if they don't like me? Or what if I'm not good at a specific part of that role? Or what if it's just too hard for me to try to help people who like maybe potentially don't want to be helped? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of challenges that come with this specific population that
Mm-hmm.
you're making me think of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to circle back to you talked about school and
Mm-hmm.
you've talked about that you are in a previous session you talked about that you're doing clinical mental health counseling um and could you see could you see yourself getting any valuable experiences or learning or getting any like valuable knowledge with let's maybe do like a compare and contrast for your receptionist job and the case management job. So what can you see yourself gaining from let's let's start with the receptionist job.
Well, I can see myself gaining. I can see myself gaining. Well, I think for starters, it's a foot in the door at a nursing slash rehabilitation center, and I think that that's great because that's two very different populations. So definitely that. I wish that I could do more for them, but as of now, I think this is the only position they had open. um, the social services woman that works here has come up to me many times and said that she wants me to be promoted into her department. So that's why I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe there is that opportunity for growth there, which would be way up my alley because that's what I want to do. Once again, not sure if it's with this population, but that's a major step in the door. And especially to like grow within a company, I think is super great. And it looks great on a resume too, to be with a company for a long time and just keep internally growing. So that's, I think, like the pros of this job. Um, okay. Is
Can
that
I
right?
ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Do they have counselors at your job, or is it more just like a social worker? Do
Mhm.
they keep a counselor on staff?
So no, not that I have ever observed. We especially not like a counselor that's specific to staff. But there's not I don't think we have an internal counselor. We have residents will have counselors that come in through a third party, but they're not affiliated with us. It's just a third party, unfortunately. So I don't think that maybe it's just not in like their budget capacity, or maybe it's just not something that they've ever thought of. But
Mhm.
you know what? Now that you're mentioning it, that could be another, segue. Like maybe I work here through my master's, and then when I'm done, there's that opportunity. You never know.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so let's talk about what you could potentially gain from the case management position,
Mm-hmm.
um, when it comes to your education.
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely think that um, there's gonna be mental health and issues involved. Not to say that everyone who is incarcerated or who was previously incarcerated deals with mental health issues, but I do have the belief that the majority of them do, especially if they're formerly unhoused people who were incarcerated for being unhoused. They most likely have that mental health that follows with them. So I do think that that would be a great learning experience. Excuse me, I think I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry. Um, Not only that, I also think it would be a great way to like network with other managers in the area, as well as anybody else who's like affiliated with that specific organization. It's definitely a lot bigger than where I'm at now, and it provides more services to more diverse populations. And I think that would be great because I still don't really know like the age group I want to work with or anything like that. And I think that that could potentially be really helpful to kind of help me gain insight on where I want to kind of end up. So
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm just like I see all the positives of it. I'm just like, man, the only negative in my brain is that I won't have as much time to focus on school, which is my number one priority at the current. So I think it's a matter of maybe to your point that I just do the interview and ask those types of questions, you know?
And I guess my next question would be kind of similar to the last question about do they do you know if this agency has a counselor on staff? Like
Yes.
do they hire counselors?
Yes, they actually have like a whole counseling department, and
Hmm.
I could even do my internship there. So, I mean, there seriously are so many positives. I'm just kind of thinking, like, man, what if this is an opportunity that's better for me later instead of right now? Like, I mean, I just moved. I still kind of have a lot up in the air in my personal life. I would hate to take on such a responsibility, and it's such an important job, and then fail and then get deterred from trying again later, or so that's the challenging part.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of things to consider. This is, like you said, an onion, multi-layered, and
Mhm.
you know, it's okay to take time to, think about what is best for you. And, you know, if you decide to do that interview, I think that gives you an opportunity to ask more questions so you can make an informed decision.
I think you're right, and based on this whole conversation, I think I'm going to go ahead and schedule it.
Right. I'm glad that you were able to come to a decision with that.
Yeah.
And so we're getting towards the end of our session here. Is there anything else that you would like me to, or you would like to chat about before we end the session? Uh,
Hmm. No, I really feel like, I mean, that was kind of the most important thing I wanted to talk about today. I mean, it's kind of been
Hmm.
what's the heaviest on my brain and my
Hmm.
heart. And I think that this was really helpful, and it was nice to be able to just talk out loud. And I know I answered some of my own questions, but you were definitely really helpful in like providing that outsider input, and you definitely helped me get to my decisions, so I appreciate it.
I'm glad. I guess just thinking back a little bit, we did talk about a goal last week about, or maybe I challenged you to do something self-care related that was just for you. Were you able to do that since the last
You're gonna
session?
be Yes, you're gonna be so proud of me. I did. I went painting. I took my younger brother just to our backyard. We did like a picnic in our backyard, but we
Mm-hmm.
laid out a blanket, and I brought out all my acrylic paints, and I invited the little neighbor girl over. She just moved in. She's 4. So we just
Oh.
sat outside. Yeah. So I did a little bit of like getting to spend time with family, as well as, painting, which I really enjoy. So I think it was like a double entendre, and it was a really good day. And my painting ended up being phenomenal. So yeah.
I'm glad you were able to do something for yourself. Um,
Thank you.
so. Alrighty. Well, thank you for taking the time to chat with me. And I hope you have a good week and we'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you so much, Caitlin. I will see you next time. I hope you have a good week.
You as well.
Take care.